The rain hammered against the windows of the old lakeside cabin, as General Hospital delivered one of the most explosive revelations Port Charles had ever seen. Lulu Spencer had spent months chasing ghosts. At first, she thought it was just another mystery buried beneath the endless lies surrounding Sonny Corinthos, Brennan, and the growing chaos inside the city's criminal underworld. But the deeper she dug, the stranger things became. Familiar faces appeared in unfamiliar places. Hidden accounts surfaced, phone records vanished overnight, and at the center of it all stood one man everyone believed they already knew. Nathan. Or at least, the man pretending to be Nathan. And when Lulu finally uncovered the truth about his real identity, it changed everything forever. Because the man standing in Port Charles wasn't the Nathan anyone remembered. He was someone far more dangerous, and someone much closer to Lulu than she could have imagined. The nightmare began weeks earlier when Lulu noticed something small. Most people would have ignored it. But Lulu Spencer had inherited Luke Spencer's instincts. She noticed everything. Nathan had returned to Port Charles claiming he wanted peace, closure, a fresh start after years away. Maxie was emotional. Felicia welcomed him with open arms. Even Dante believed the timing made sense. But Lulu couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Nathan remembered birthdays. He remembered addresses. He remembered old arguments. Yet somehow, he forgot the little things only the real Nathan would know, like the nickname he once gave Georgie, or the exact spot where he proposed to Maxie. Tiny cracks, tiny mistakes, but enough to make Lulu suspicious. One afternoon inside Kelly's, she watched Nathan carefully while he spoke with Cody Bell. His smile looked practiced, controlled, almost rehearsed. Then he said something that froze Lulu cold. "I've always hated coffee from this place." Lulu's eyes narrowed instantly, because Nathan loved Kelly's coffee. He used to joke that it tasted like burned hope, yet he drank 3 cups every morning. The real Nathan would never have said that. And in that moment, Lulu realized something terrifying. This man wasn't slipping, he was pretending. That night, Lulu reopened an old investigation file. Most of the evidence surrounding Nathan's supposed return had come through unofficial channels. No hospital verification, no federal confirmation, no proper DNA processing. Everything had appeared too convenient, almost staged. Lulu began tracing timelines. The deeper she looked, the uglier the story became. A private medical transport disappeared 6 months earlier near the Canadian border. An unidentified patient vanished from records. A classified WSB operation was abruptly shut down, and every road somehow led back to Brennan. Lulu immediately knew this wasn't coincidence. Brennan was hiding something massive, and somehow Nathan was connected to it. Meanwhile, Maxie began noticing changes too. Nathan grew distant whenever she mentioned the past. He avoided old photos, refused to visit familiar places. He even hesitated when James asked questions about family memories. At first, Maxie blamed trauma. But then came the nightmares. Nathan would wake up screaming in another language. Russian. Maxie secretly recorded one episode on her phone. The next day, she played it for Spinelli. Spinelli's expression changed instantly. "That's not random speaking," he whispered. "That's military terminology." Maxie's stomach dropped. Military? Nathan had never served in Russia, so why was he speaking like an operative? Lulu and Spinelli quietly joined forces. Together they hacked into restricted archives connected to old WSB programs. Most files were heavily encrypted, but one image finally appeared on the screen. Lulu's heart nearly stopped. The photo showed Nathan. Except his name wasn't Nathan. It was Alexander Volkov, former deep-cover intelligence operative, presumed dead 8 years earlier. Dangerous, highly trained, specialized in identity replacement missions. Spinelli stared at the screen in horror. Oh, Spinelli does not enjoy this revelation at all. Lulu felt sick. "You're telling me Nathan isn't Nathan?" Spinelli swallowed hard. "I'm telling you the man in Port Charles may have stolen Nathan's identity." The revelation shattered everything. But Lulu refused to jump to conclusions. She needed proof, real proof. So she did the one thing no one expected. She confronted Brennan directly. Inside Brennan's office, the tension was unbearable. "You lied to everyone," Lulu snapped. Brennan remained calm. "I don't know what you think you found. The man walking around calling himself Nathan isn't Nathan West." That finally rattled him. Just slightly. But Lulu saw it. Brennan slowly stood. "You need to stop digging." "Why? Because I'm getting close?" "Because people die when they uncover the truth." Lulu stepped closer. "Who is he?" Brennan's silence answered everything. And that terrified her more than words ever could. That same night, someone broke into Lulu's apartment. Drawers were ripped apart, computers destroyed, files missing. But nothing valuable had been stolen. Whoever came wasn't looking for money. They were looking for evidence, and they wanted Lulu scared. Instead, they made her furious. Dante begged Lulu to back off. "This is bigger than you understand." "No!" Lulu fired back. "You don't understand. That man is living inside our lives pretending to be someone else." Dante looked conflicted. What if Brennan had reasons? Lulu stared at him in disbelief. "You actually believe that?" "I believe dangerous agencies do terrible things. And innocent people pay for it." Dante couldn't argue with that, because deep down, he knew she was right. Then came the bombshell no one expected. Spinelli uncovered surveillance footage from Prague dated 3 years earlier. The video quality was terrible, but the face was unmistakable. The real Nathan West, alive, imprisoned. Lulu felt her breath disappear. "Oh my God!" Nathan hadn't died. He'd been hidden, erased, and replaced. The implications were horrifying. Someone had intentionally removed Nathan from the world. Someone powerful. Someone connected to the WSB, and the fake Nathan had been inserted into Port Charles for a reason. But what reason? That answer arrived sooner than anyone expected. Late one evening, fake Nathan secretly met with Brennan at Pier 55. Lulu followed them. Hidden behind shipping crates, she recorded every word. "You told me the Spencer woman was handled." Nathan growled. "She's becoming a complication." "Then eliminate the complication." Lulu's blood ran cold. Brennan looked uneasy. "That's not the mission." "You forget who gave the orders." "Orders?" Lulu realized this wasn't just identity theft. It was an operation, a massive one. Then Nathan said the words that changed everything. "The Corinthos target comes first." Sunny. Nathan was after Sunny. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed nearby. Lulu accidentally stepped on broken glass. Nathan spun around instantly. "Someone's here!" Lulu ran. Footsteps thundered behind her as Nathan chased her through the docks. Rain poured harder. Her heart pounded wildly. She barely made it to her car before Nathan slammed against the door. For one horrifying second, their eyes locked. And Lulu saw something terrifying in his face. No emotion, no humanity, only calculation. Then Brennan appeared. "Stop!" Nathan backed away reluctantly. Lulu sped off into the storm, trembling uncontrollably. The next morning she gathered everyone. Dante, Maxie, Felicia, Spinelli, Cody, even Sunny. Nobody was prepared for what Lulu revealed. The man we know as Nathan is an imposter. Shock exploded across the room. Maxie immediately denied it. No, you're wrong." Lulu placed the Prague photo on the table. Silence fell instantly. Maxie's hands shook violently. "That's impossible." Spinelli quietly nodded. "The evidence is overwhelming." Felicia burst into tears. Dante looked physically sick. Sunny remained deadly calm, because Sunny already suspected something. Then came another devastating twist. Spinelli uncovered classified correspondence proving the fake Nathan had been embedded into Port Charles specifically to monitor Sunny's organization. Years ago, the WSB feared Sunny's growing power. Instead of direct confrontation, they planted an operative nearby. Someone trusted, someone invisible. Nathan's return had never been about family. It was surveillance, manipulation, espionage, and everyone had been fooled. Maxie collapsed emotionally. Every memory suddenly felt poisoned. Every kiss, every conversation, every moment. "What did he want from me?" she cried. Lulu held her tightly. "You were never the target." But deep down, Lulu feared that wasn't entirely true, because fake Nathan had grown emotionally attached to Maxie, and that made him even more dangerous. Meanwhile, fake Nathan realized his cover was destroyed, and desperate people make deadly choices. He began preparing to disappear: fake passports, cash withdrawals, weapons. Brennan warned him to stand down, but Nathan no longer trusted anyone, especially not the WSB. "You promised extraction," he snarled. "The operation changed. You used me." Brennan's silence confirmed it. Nathan laughed bitterly. "That's the problem with spies. Everyone eventually becomes disposable." Lulu refused to let him escape. Despite Dante's objections, she tracked Nathan to the abandoned cabin outside Port Charles, the same cabin where years earlier Nathan once saved Maxie during a storm. Only now the meaning felt horrifyingly twisted. Lulu entered cautiously, gun drawn. "Nathan!" The man emerged slowly from the shadows. For the first time, the mask was gone. No fake warmth, no fake smiles, just Alexander Volkov. "You should have stopped digging," he said quietly. Lulu stared at him with rage. "Where's the real Nathan?" Alexander hesitated. "Alive." That stunned her. "Where?" "I don't know anymore." "You expect me to believe that?" "They moved him after the first year." Lulu's voice shook. "You stole his life." Alexander looked away. "At first, it was only a mission." "At first?" Then came the most shocking confession of all. "I never expected to care about them." Them. Maxie, James, the family. Alexander's eyes filled briefly with guilt. And for one moment, Lulu realized something terrifying. The fake Nathan had developed real feelings. But redemption came too late. Because moments later, armed agents surrounded the cabin. WSB tactical units. Red laser sights covered every window. Alexander instantly knew what was happening. "They're cleaning up the operation." Brennan stepped outside with armed officers. "It's over." Alexander laughed darkly. "No, you just don't want your secrets exposed." Lulu realized the horrifying truth. The WSB never intended to bring Alexander in alive. They planned to erase him permanently. Chaos erupted. Gunfire shattered the cabin windows. Lulu screamed as bullets tore through the walls. Alexander grabbed her and pulled her to safety behind a table. "Stay down." "You're protecting me?" "I told you. Things changed." The firefight intensified. Smoke filled the cabin. Outside, Brennan shouted orders. But Alexander knew there was no escape. Only one choice remained. He handed Lulu a flash drive. "Everything is on this." "What is it?" "Proof, names, operations, where they took Nathan." Lulu stared at him in shock. "Why give this to me?" "Because Maxie deserves the truth." Before Lulu could answer, Alexander shoved her toward the back exit. "Go." "What about you?" His expression turned strangely peaceful. "They'll never stop hunting me." Then he locked the door behind her. Lulu escaped into the woods moments before the cabin exploded in flames. The blast lit the night sky. WSB agents scattered everywhere. Brennan watched silently as fire consumed the structure. And for the first time, even he looked shaken. Because despite everything, Alexander Volkov had just sacrificed himself to protect Lulu Spencer. Days later, Port Charles remained in shock. The truth about Nathan's identity spread quietly through close circles. Maxie struggled to process the betrayal. Yet what haunted her most was one impossible question. How much of it had been real? Had Alexander ever truly cared? Or had every emotion been another performance? Even Lulu didn't know anymore. Because the deeper she examined the evidence on the flash drive, the more complicated the story became. Alexander hadn't simply impersonated Nathan. Over time, he became trapped inside the role. The mission changed him. The family changed him. Maxie changed him. And somewhere along the line between lie and truth disappeared completely. But the biggest shock was still coming, because the files revealed something unbelievable. The real Nathan West was alive. And not only alive, he was being held in a secret WSB medical facility overseas. Lulu immediately showed Dante and Sunny. Sunny's expression darkened dangerously. "This is why governments can't be trusted." Dante looked stunned. "You think we can bring him home?" Lulu stared at the photo of the real Nathan connected to medical equipment. "We have to try." Meanwhile, Brennan faced pressure from powerful figures inside the WSB. The operation had collapsed publicly. Alexander was dead. Evidence leaked. And now Lulu Spencer possessed classified intelligence capable of destroying careers. Brennan made one final desperate move. He visited Lulu privately. "You release those files, people die." Lulu glared at him. "People already died." "You don't understand the consequences." "No, you don't understand me." Brennan realized then that Lulu Spencer would never back down. Not when innocent lives were stolen, not when families were destroyed, and certainly not when the truth still remained buried. The final scenes delivered one last jaw-dropping twist. Inside a heavily guarded medical facility overseas, alarms suddenly blared. A nurse rushed into a private room. The patient's bed was empty. Monitoring wires ripped away, windows shattered, and on the floor sat one photograph. A picture of Maxie and James. Then the camera slowly panned upward. A shadowy figure stood outside in the snow watching from a distance, bruised, older, but unmistakably Nathan West, alive, free, and coming home to Port Charles. As the screen faded to black, fans everywhere were left stunned, because Lulu's discovery didn't just expose Nathan's true identity, it unleashed a war between the WSB, Sunny Corinthos, and forces far darker than anyone imagined. And when the real Nathan finally returns, Port Charles may never survive the fallout, especially once Maxie learns the horrifying final truth. The man she mourned for years never truly died. But the man who replaced him may have sacrificed everything for her in the end. And in true General Hospital fashion, the line between hero and villain has never been more dangerously blurred. Thank you for watching. Write what you think about it. Subscribe to the channel.